Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. It is Monday, start of a new week where Juventus will play 2 times. Benfica in Champions League tomorrow, and then on Saturday, Matchday 12 of Serie A versus Lecce. We understand immediately how difficult and decisive and crucial this game will be, because we see that we are playing not once but twice out of our home, away from home. And we know that our record in 22-23 is a total disaster. Yes, we won versus Torino in the Derby della Mole, away from the Allianz Stadium, but not yet away from Torino. And that's what we will have the opportunity to do tomorrow internationally in Portugal, and on Saturday versus Lecce, geographically really far away from Torino. In or out? This is how I call the video today, because out in Champions League is a possibility tomorrow if we don't win versus Benfica. Drawing or losing is a total disaster. Ciao to Champions League and potentially also ciao to Europa League. Something that Juventus can't allow, especially because we have to take revenge. Benfica, they were trolling us in our home. And no, we can't. Tomorrow we have to go there for a big performance. But also Lecce will be an in or out game, because we have an objective and we'll talk about in a second. In or out also in terms of Mercato. Out, a player that is playing with continuity that also scored versus Empoli could be out already in January. There are some offers from Tottenham in Premier League. You already guessed who I'm speaking about. In a player that we already said goodbye in January, or in the summer, sorry, that could potentially stay with us not only until the end of the season, but even more, for a few seasons, for a few years. And I want your opinion about that. We'll speak about all these topics in the video of today. Maximum of like, subscribe to the channel, notification ring on. Would be beautiful if today we can go over the 400 or even more, 500 likes. We start. Italian and international papers. What are they saying about our beloved Juventus? Corriere dello Sport is not speaking at all about us. Why? And correctly so, because they are focusing on the Serie A game of yesterday, the big game, Derby del Sole, Roma versus Napoli, with Napoli winning 1-0 yesterday with an incredible physical and also shot accuracy goal from Osimhen. Napoli that is starting to worry me, not only because they are able to win with entertaining games, with skills and tricks, with calcio champagne, but also when it's a game that is a bit more boring and when they have to do the difference with a goal like yesterday Osimhen scored. So was the matchday 11 still an important matchday for Juventus in Serie A? Absolutely yes. Why? Even if we are still there at -10 and -7 from the first spots in Serie A, Napoli and Milan, well, we had the opportunity to go closer to our main objective, is entering the top 4, at least staying really closely before Qatar 2022, with the loss of Atalanta versus an extremely great Lazio yesterday, but also Udinese losing versus Torino, and as I told you, Roma losing versus Napoli yesterday. That means that we are a bit closer to these teams, only two points away from Udinese, 3 from Roma and 5 from Atalanta. Juventus, step by step, they are going closer, and that's what we wanted to do. Speaking about bringing you closer, nobody is bringing you closer to Serie A than OneFootball. I already told you 3 days ago, I repeat you because it's tomorrow, drop 3 is exceptional. Speaking and focusing only about strikers, you can own these digital video moments that will be for you forever. You can choose between Bobbo Vieri, Gianluca Vialli, Gabriel Omar Battistuta. It's incredible. Only 48 hours, so there is a sense of urgency. If you want to take part of it, if you want to own these digital video moments, the link is into the description. We continue speaking about Juventus because we know it and we said it. Tomorrow there is Benfica. Tuttosport is focusing on one player of Juventus. Of course, they are speaking about Kostić. Per la Juve, vitamina K. For Juventus, vitamin K. Why? Because we know it, he's in form. He's in total form, Filip Kostic, with a page only for him in Tuttosport. Kostic Robocop Max. Robocop, you know who's Robocop? He was a machine, he was a robot. Well, Kostić is a machine. He's playing game in, game out, and slowly but surely starting to assist. Boom, across here, across there, and the accuracy of his crosses is increasing a lot. An old vintage winger. It's not the one that is playing with inverted foot, that is entering the field, you know, from the left to the right side to go on target. No, he's going there, really wide. He's not always dribbling even his man. He doesn't need to dribble him, but a small small space like Stojanovic was giving him, and boom, he's going with a cross. That image of the first goal of McKennie in Serie A after the cross of Kostić is simply fantastic. Well, he can be the vitamin for Juventus from that left side to go in, boom, crosses for Dusan Vlahovic. We are still waiting for the first assist of Kostić to Vlahovic. It's an old vintage player that is starting to perform more and more and more, that is feeling at ease because he can play in a lot of different formations. 3-5-2 totally on the wing, 4-3-3 a bit higher on the field, he can play in a 4-4-2. So Vitamina K, I totally agree with Kostić being an important key for tomorrow's game, especially if we will play with a 3-man offensively tomorrow. Milik, Kostić and Vlahovic. Will it be a 3-5-2? Will it be a 4-3-3? We don't know at the moment, but these 3 men will start tomorrow instead of McKennie. Juve will try to go all in with Kostić and Milik, that will also support Vlahovic. Vlahovic that incredibly versus Empoli, he supported Keane that did a really great game, but this time he will need to shine. We will need his goals versus Benfica in Champions League. So these 3 men can be really important. There is still a doubt. 4-man defense with Rugani or Rugani out, and we go with a 3-man defense with Alexandro, Kostić and Vlahovic, but especially also Milik. Milik that spoke about the fact that it was really an advantage, a benefit for him to speak Italian, to understand everything that the coach is telling him and what is asking from him. He also spoke about the difference between Ligue 1 and Italy with Serie A, where in Serie A you are focusing a lot about the tactics, where in Ligue 1 there are a lot more spaces where players that are really fast, they can go really fast on the wings and change the game. So differences between the 2 leagues. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about Milan, missione 60 milioni, mission 60 million. Why? Because they want to go also them for the qualification to the knockout stages of Champions League, but then they focus about 1 man of Juventus. I told you, in or out. Well, he can be the man that can continue to be in Juventus. We are speaking about Adrien Rabiot. He needed, and he was about to leave to Manchester United in the summer. A lot of people, including myself, were really sad when at the end it collapsed the deal. He stayed at Juventus. I said, don't put him out of the team. You remember, a lot of people said, hey, now you have to punish him. He refused Manchester City, put him in the stands. We don't want to see him. Let him understand that not playing will also make sure that he will miss the World Cup. Well, luckily Allegri didn't listen, because he's playing Corsa, the runs, but also the assist and the goals. Rabiot is born again. He is the born again. He rised again thanks to Massimiliano Allegri. Well, Adrien Rabiot is showing how great he can be. We waited long. We waited really long for that Adrien Rabiot. He's showing with results, with game, that he's a fantastic player when he is able to show us that. This is what we are expecting from the Frenchman, from Adrien Rabiot, 27 years. Now they are speaking about renewal. What do we do with Adrien Rabiot? Because a lot of teams, they are putting the radar on Rabiot. It is not a mystery that Erik ten Hag, he wanted it for Manchester United. Chelsea has always been a big fan of Adrien Rabiot. We already spoke about it, how many trainers are starting Adrien Rabiot for his importance. Well, now the topic is, what will Juventus do? Juventus, that looks like they have an intention to go and to renew him with a proposal. What do you do, guys? I want your opinion. What do we do with the 27 years Frenchman, Adrien Le Duc Rabiot? Cavallo pazzo, crazy horse. It's a risk, of course. What's the sum that Juventus is allowed to give him? Because renewing at 7 or 8 million euro, it's probably too much. But Juventus, they want to accelerate, maybe even renewing before the World Cup, so that we are sure that the other ones, they are not able to give a concrete offer. Another one that we are speaking about is Weston McKennie. You remember, in or out? Well, he can be out. Apparently, Tottenham with Paratici, they are on the player from Texas, and they already offered, or they are prepared to offer, a 30 million offer to Juventus to have and to sign in January already Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie that we saw that tactically has an importance, but also into the box with the second goal that he scored versus Empoli, second after the header that he scored versus Paris Saint-Germain. Important key in the game of Allegri, but will he be enough good to stay on the bench when Pogba will be back? Big decision here. Big decision also here. I want your opinion. What do we do with Adrien Rabiot, but also with Weston McKennie? Juventus is thinking about Mercato, in, out, but also in January trying to go for Grimaldo, our player. Yes, maybe, if we are able to go to the knockout stages. If not, I don't believe that we can go and sign Grimaldo from Benfica. Because why should he on earth come to Juve that is not in Champions League, while he can continue at his ease to perform with Benfica? Guys, this was it for me for the video of today. Short one, with a lot of news. I hope you enjoyed. Maximum of likes, subscribe to the video. We will see each other later to continue to speak about Juve, Benfica, Juve in Champions League. Grazie, forza, Juve.